ते दिसत नाहीये तिथे. नाही, नाही, दिसत नाहीये.
मैं उधर से देखता मैं बाहर जा रहा हूँ.
केला.
All right, I think I don't really need a mic to talk to all of you.
Yes.
How was it?
Yes, sir.
Second year.
Yes.
First of all, happy Diwali.
Thank you.
Okay. The session which you are going to attend is a very important one, and primarily it is for second year only. Because how many of you would like to have your own business or become an entrepreneur? Wow. Hands down. Do you know that if you work on an idea in your Diwali vacation, come up with a startup idea, maybe at the end of your second year, incubate it, what do you think is the average amount of funding you can get from the government? 1 to 2 lakhs. What do you think? अजून कोणाला वाटतं किती मिळू शकतं? साधारण अंदाजे तुमचा चेहरा बघा सेल्फी मध्ये, यार मेरे को कौन कितना पैसा दे सकता है? मिनिमम 5 lakhs? 7-8 lakhs? I'm not even talking about तुमच्या प्रोडक्टची क्वालिटी कसं आहे काय, नथिंग डुईंग. ग्रँट मध्ये म्हणतोय मी, फंडिंग मध्ये पण नाही म्हणत.
Sir, if it get registered on SIH, then we get 10 lakhs.
10 lakhs. The person who is going to come and talk to you, na, minimum 20, maximum up to 1 year. He himself has been an entrepreneur, and his job to tell people that come with an idea. The government is giving money with both hands. Unfortunately, our people are ते घरी सबमिशन आहे. ठीक आहे, काय नाही, आजची चकली उद्या बनली तरी चालेल. स्टार्टअप तुम्ही 2 वर्षानंतर नाही करू शकत. You will be student. Chakli you can make rest of your life. So make sure that you ask a lot of questions, interact. कर दो ना, गवर्नमेंट दे रहा है पैसा, आप ही का पैसा है, टैक्स पेयर्स मनी है ना. I paid tax. If the government gives the tax that I paid to my students, I am happy. Think about it from that perspective. That is our Diwali gift to you. We'll start the session in a couple of minutes. एक बार करो सर. अरे मे बी आउट हो गया. कुछ नहीं, अभी ट्राई कर लो अपने मेन एक्स.
भाई डीसी का अलावा और कोई नहीं कर पाएगा. सुन ना, मैं इन करता, तू मेरे को एक्सेप्ट करेगा क्या और को होस्ट कर देगा क्या?
सर मैं होस्ट हूँ क्या?
हाँ तू ये हो गया. वो मेरे को लैपटॉप लगेगा ही रे, और कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है.
लैपटॉप यूज करने को बोलो उनसे. एडमिट किया Yeah, the next.
A very good afternoon to all.
Good afternoon, sir.
I am Akhil Joshi, faculty member of Department of Mechanical Engineering, JSPM's Rajarshi Shahu College of Engineering. And on this, let us say, eve of Diwali, where we are all going to wish each other a prosperous new year, maybe 3 days from now, we have with us an event called Navonmesh. That itself means that a new beginning or a new enthusiasm, if I could say that. The idea of this event is to tell our students that there exists a realm of empowering innovation, intellectual property, IPs, startups, Indian knowledge system, and all of this, which is important for our students, for the college, for the state, for the country. To talk about this, to have this interaction and deliver this talk of Navonmesh to all the students of Rajarshi Shahu College of Engineering, we have with us Shri Umesh Rathod. Welcome, sir. Sir is from Ministry of Education, Government of India. He is the Innovation Manager for Western Region of Maharashtra. And he has agreed to come and spend a day in RSCOE to talk about innovation, look at a lot of projects and how we can go forward, not just an idea, but taking any project idea to fruition in the field of startup, maybe a company, technology transfer, so on and so forth. Before we begin this introduction, let us all invoke Goddess Saraswati. I request all the dignitaries to please light the lamp and then we will proceed.
या वन्दे तुषारहारधवला या शूद्रवस्त्रवृता या वीणावरदण्डवन्दितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना देवै सदा वन्दिता सा सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा
Thank you, sir. For this occasion, on the dais, we have Shri Umesh Rathod, Innovation Manager, Western Region, as the chief guest and the chief. I would say, sir is in a lot of different hats today. He's interacting with us in different aspects. So, keynote speaker for this session is him. Joining him is our very own director, Dr. Santosh Bhosle, sir. Welcome, sir. On the stage, we have Dr. J.A. Hole, sir, Dean of Research and Development at JSPM's RSCOE, and also Dr. Sachin Argade, sir, President of RSCOE IIC. I welcome all of you. To begin with, I'll just introduce our chief guest today, Shri Umesh Rathod. If you visit his website, you will find 4 words: innovation, entrepreneurship, STEM, and sustainability, written boldly. And I take this opportunity to introduce my college to you also, sir, because this is being a very short thing. If you talk of innovation, sir has spent a lot of time, more than 14 years in innovation, started a startup, when he was in his polytechnic, when he was doing his diploma in electronics. From then onwards, in the day his exam ended, the next day he started his own startup, and he has been an entrepreneur since then. When we talk of entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship is something to be done, but as he has a wide range of experience as a research consultant and ISB startup advisor at Vatwani Foundation, Ministry of Education, IIT Bombay, CII, Niti Aayog, IIM Calcutta, Wellington Institute, from where he has got a lot of management education, his management degrees and all. The list goes on, and the CV is very big. To introduce my student community to you, when we talk of entrepreneurship, we do have some budding entrepreneurs, and they are raring to go. I just confirm with them. Sir loves to interact with students. He has interacted with almost 4.5 lakh students. Use round of applause for that, because that is a passion in which he is interested in delivering and reaching out to the student community with the sole aim that student should get empowered, society gets empowered. And talking about sustainability, because all the startups or any kind of a business we do, it is to be in the realm of the sustainable development goals. Sir, I'm very proud to tell you that we have a student club. As you were talking about it, there is a club called Shashwat. Any member from Shashwat here? They can come and talk to sir about it. So it was started way back in 2007 with the aim that every final year project should be mapped to a sustainable development goal. And working on that, they have done a lot of work under Unnat Bharat Abhiyan also. So that is how we are interlinked to each other. The introduction of the guest and introduction of the audience, the role I have done is to bring both of them on the same platform. Without wasting much time, the session is of Shri Umesh Rathod, sir. I request you to take over the session.
Hello. Thank you so much for that brief introduction, Joshi sir. To all the dignitaries on the dais, faculty members, my dear friends. How are you guys doing? All good?
Yes.
I'm really excited. I got a call from sir day before yesterday during an interaction at PIBM. You have to come and interact with the students, and let's do it. We were discussing when we do it, post Diwali or before that. And I think it's the right time that students will go for Diwali and they'll have that pivotal time to experiment with their ideas. So I was told that many of you want to become entrepreneurs, right? Can I see the hands again? Okay, man, almost all of you, right? Almost 90% of you want to become entrepreneurs. So I'll give you a gist of what entrepreneurship is all about. Okay, entrepreneurship starts, and goes in the same breath as managing your failures. So if you want to become an entrepreneur, ask yourself first question, are you ready to fail? How many of you are ready to fail? The hands are less compared to previous. Why I'm asking this question, that why are you ready to fail? We all see Elon Musk, great person. He has achieved great achievements, great startups. But it has not been without the failures. His journey started long time ago with Paytm and PayPal, and various other startups which he has done. But it is very clear that there is what we can say, English term success without having your set of failures. And I say this word English term as success and failure because in our ecosystem, when we talk about Sanatan Dharma, we did not have this kind of a terminology. We did not see things as success or failure. You know what Krishna said to Arjuna during the war of Mahabharata? He said, Karmanyevadhikarat se ma phaleshu kadachana. Right? You focus on your, what is the word? Can I hear it loudly? So karma is not success and failure. Karma is experience. Imagine yourself, you are part of a ball revolving around the sun, which has been doing for last 4.5 billion years. And as per scientists and the Upanishads or the researchers which we have, they clearly mentioned that it will go on for next 4.5 billion odd years. We will be not here, but the earth will exist. This all success and failure will not be there. But whatever the karma we have done will be the one which will go on. Right? So it's really important to focus on karma and look at things not as success and failure, because many of the students today, fail to take initiatives because they think what society will think about them, what their peers will think about them. If you want to do something and if you initiate on that journey, and if you have that back of the mind that, I might fail, or I'm doing this for XYZ reason. If you are passionate about something, you devote yourself to it. Right? Success and failure are not permanent things. There is no permanent success and there is no permanent failure. These are part and parcel of your journey. Someone who is successful today might see a failure later. Someone who is failure today might see a success in near future. So it's really important to detach ourselves from this colonial mindset of success and failure if you really want to achieve something big. Because then you're not bothered about what is success and failure. You're doing things out of karma. You want to do something good. You want to contribute and make an impact. And that has been a philosophy which I have always been associated with. And the day when I thought I want to do a startup, I assumed I might fail. But what's there? Right? What's new? Everyone fails. There are many failures around. I've seen that. Indian cricket team, for example, wins a World Cup, but they have also failed many World Cups, right? So failures are there. Success is there. But let's detach ourselves from this. These are very petty things, very small things. If we're comparing ourselves with that aspect. And these very things stop us from achieving great things. The other part of it is, we want to achieve great things, but do we truly know what is our true potential? What we are made for? We can say you have arrived when someone of your peers will say, you know what, you are doing the right thing. I think this is what you are made for. If you get that kind of a compliment, that means you are really in the zone, what you wanted to contribute to this world. And I'm not going to talk about AI, ML, machine learning, all that, because these are tools. Finally, all of this has to work with people, right? Yes or no? Who's going to use this AI, ML technology? All of us. Is there to make our life easy, right? And today we are talking about AI. Tomorrow it will be something else. And that is how the things have evolved. 30 years back, there was something different. So industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, we have evolved in that industry context. And this will keep on evolving because industry is inventing. There are people who are doing some research and they'll come up with new terminologies, new technologies. But at the heart of it, it is for all of us. It impacts our lives. So finally, we are going to work with people. There was a thought process by XYZ people when computers came to India that computers will take away our jobs. But is that the notion? It is said to manufacture one computer, it gives jobs for 4 people. So when AI ML will come, definitely it's going to create more opportunities for us. You have to look at how you are going to leverage it. The other part which I mentioned was finding the true essence, what we are, right? What we are here for, what is our role on this planet. So earlier, what used to happen is when someone used to get birth, and it's mentioned that they used to map it through our astrological charts. Each one of us has a role to play. Do you agree on that?
Yes.
And these roles are divided into 4 contexts. Either you have taken a birth for Artha, Kama, Dharma, or Moksha. This is clearly defined on your astrological charts. But because we adopted the colonial teaching, methods, No one is doing that mapping. And we are not taking things seriously. Some people will question, what is this talking about? Coming from innovation, entrepreneurship, very practical approach. But this is what it is. The more you dwell into it and look at things with design thinking perspective. And for last 14 years, I've been teaching and reading about it. So if you say a small ball revolving around the Earth can have an impact on Earth, yes or no? What is that? Moon. Does it have an impact on Earth?
Yes.
What impact does it have? Tides. Yes, everyone agrees?
Yes.
The high tide and the low tide happens because of the. Why does it happen? What is Earth? 71%? Is our body also 71% water? Will it have impact on us?
Yes.
Yes. It does have an impact. Any planet which you can see with naked eyes has an impact on you because that light is reaching your eye. So if you are visualizing anything, that means the light is getting reflected to your retina. So you talk about Mars, you talk about Jupiter, you talk about any planet which is clearly visible to your eyes has definitely some impact on you. We cannot leave this technology, this learnings of our age-old traditions for the sake of it, because others are not following. Right? So, based on these astrological charts, it was devised, and people used to understand what is the role of that person on the planet in that lifetime. Will he be focusing on dharma? Will he be focusing on artha, making money? Will he be focusing on moksha, getting, achieving self-realization? Or the fourth one, that is kama, emotional pleasings. So if you identify with these four and you focus on each one which your area lies, you can do great things. There are people who are here for moksha, also multimillionaire. There are people over here who are focused on karma, also doing business, become entrepreneurs in their zone. There are people who are here for dharma, also having great opportunity for entrepreneurship. But you need to identify what will be your end goal. What will be that startup which syncs with your trueness, what you are. And as I said, it is about going from failure to failure. You need to have resilient mindset. Now, what is this resilient mindset? Anyone? What do you mean by resiliency? Have you heard this term? You have to be resilient. Yes?
If tough conditions will come, then we should accommodate with that tough condition.
You need to adapt to it. Yes. Can we have an applause for him? Yes. Going from failure to failure. Failure will come, but you fight back. Right? That is what is resilience. I'm not saying this, but research has mentioned already that entrepreneurship and risk taking goes in the same breath. How many of you are risk takers? Because true essence of entrepreneurship is not only problem solving, but taking risk to evolve it into a business. Many of you might be great problem solvers and innovators. But do you have it in you to actually take that leap to start a business? Not just solving the problem, not just creating the product, not just creating that project, but commercializing it, creating a value out of it, making money out of it. That is the true essence of becoming an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is at the heart problem solver, but he's creating value, value for society, value for himself. So when you talk about your projects, third year, final year projects, and you want to convert it into, startups, I think our approach would be a little wrong. Because in third year, fourth year, you are looking at as a project perspective. You don't go and interact with the end user. What is at the heart of entrepreneur? Entrepreneur is solving the problem of many people. So here we are talking about taking projects and matching it to the end user. It's a difficult journey. But if you know that people want XYZ thing and you develop it, Will it be better? So we need to go and interact with the people. You are in second year right now. How many of you are, all of you are in second year? When you go for your third year, final year projects, right? Before that, take that topic once it's finalized or before finalization. Interact with the end user. Think of the end user in mind. Who is going to use it? Sometimes we go with our own bias. I think that this is the problem. No, that's not. Many of the startups fail. Almost 60% startups fail because there was no market need. That means the entrepreneur created something in silos. He or she thought that there is a problem, but that problem did not exist. It was not validated. So it's really important for us to understand that perspective, whether there is a market need. The startup which will thrive is the one which has market need. That will evolve into a business. Otherwise, it is a good project. It works fine, perfect. It can get good marks, but it cannot turn into a entrepreneurial business venture. And that is a different lacuna. That's a lacuna which we have. Right? Having that perspective. Anyone over here who runs a restaurant business? Anyone's family who has business? You have? What's the business about? Cafe restaurant. What's the name?
Snacks and dine.
Snacks and dine. The business is on snacks and dine. Can we understand what we will get over there? Can we assume?
Yes.
Can we get sandwich? Can we get pizza? No. Meal. Okay. Is your favorite dish on the menu, sir? Be true. There are no marks. Is it there on the menu? Oh, because it's on the menu and you are saying it. Don't get into confirmation bias. You know? If you ask any South Indian restaurant, what is your favorite dish? You will not find that on the menu. Ideally. You will not. In fact, for North Indian restaurants also. Why you will not find it on the menu? It's obvious, right? What is obvious? Louder?
Please spoke to the end users what exactly they want.
No, end users don't want my favorite dish. End users want their favorite dish. Are you with me? You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Restaurant business, if you are the owner and you sell only what you like, who will come and eat?
No one.
You need to sell what they like. So if you go to a South Indian restaurant, you'll get idli, vada, dosa. Yes or no? But if you ask him or her, what is the favorite dish? The answer will be different. Because that's a unique dish, which not many people want, or that's not a regular thing which will sell. Right? On occasions, on Onam or some festivities like Puran Poli and all for Maharashtra, when there is festivity, it's okay. Right? Some restaurants will have it. But what is the cusp? What is the point which I'm trying to make is that solve people's problem, not yours. Don't go with that bias. To kill the bias, you need validation. And for that validation, you need to interact with your end users. There are two types of people who use your product. One, the customer and the end user. Customer is the one who purchases it. End user is the one who uses it. For example, I have two kids. No, they are 11 months old. They don't go and buy it. The diapers. I go and buy it. So I'm the customer. And they are the end user. Now I buy it. I don't know what diaper is quality. They know it. Because they are wearing it. So if it's pricking them, not me. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
You need to get into the nerve of it. If you really want to become entrepreneur, don't fear failure. Remove that thought process only. Have focus on karma. That, okay, this is a project I want to do. I'm not bothered whether I'll be successful or not. I'll just give my best shot. Give your 100%. And think from the other side. What is the customer need? What is their demand? What is the need of the hour? How many people, like we map the TAM storm model, right? What is the target audience? What is the serviceable area? How many people you can get on board with your product or service? And based on that, we come to an understanding, okay, in a year, you can, target 10 lakh people, 20 lakh people, maybe 1 crore based on your idea, and you map it. Now, where do you find these opportunities? Where we get Startup India? There is a huge portal by SP&IR where you find investors, where you find schemes for funding your startups. And gone are the days when it was old school where you had to fund from your own pocket. From the Ministry of Education, I would like to highlight few schemes like, IIC initiative, which we have, Institution Innovation Council, which is established across 15,000 institutes across the country. So IIC's main function is to contribute to the innovation ecosystem in academia. If you're part of the entrepreneurship cell, it is not different than IIC. IIC is governed by the faculties. You can contribute to the IIC by being part of it. See, tomorrow you will become an entrepreneur or you're working in a multinational. One question will always be there. Are you a leader? Any interview, they will ask you one common thing. What leadership qualities you have? Can leadership qualities be developed by sitting idle in a classroom, just attending lectures? No. To develop leadership skills, you have to go out and take part in initiatives. Right? And earlier there was a time when there was great leaders were born like Bhagat Singh and various others due to the political ecosystem, due to the revolution which was happening in the country. They were part of academia. They were taking initiatives to free our country from Britishers. So they were outside the class. If you ask what Bhagat Singh, studied, that's a different question. But did he contribute in our nation's independence? Yes. So that mindset needs to be there that, okay, I am sitting in the class, I'll pass, I'll have great score, grade, and I'm submitting assignments. Okay. But that's not leadership. That's everyone is doing in the class. So what's extra? What is that extra, X factor I'm going to create for myself? That will happen outside. Participating in competitions. I know some of the students have participated in ISER and got some awards. Some people have participated in Robocon. Some of you are already connected with your, seniors on that. So these are the things where you can narrate stories. This is something different I did. So that stories need to be there to be told, right? So it can happen only once you participate in these initiatives. We have Yukti portal where we talk about the ideation. If you have an idea, you can register your idea. It's the largest repository of idea across the world. So based on your idea, if you need support in investment for technology transfer or licensing, soon that website is going to get an overhaul where we'll be starting to connect the dots. Apart from that, we have Smart India Hackathon. Yes. How many are the fans of Smart India Hackathon? Can I see their hands? Smart India Hackathon? Few. Okay. So Smart India Hackathon is the largest hackathon in the world. 50,000 teams participated last year. So if you have a team of 6, you can enroll, you can participate. It goes with multiple level of attritions. And then there's a final 500 teams which participate. And then there are top 10, 15 or like 100 odd, selected teams. But the whole process is not in the winning. The process is getting used to the method of innovating, understanding what gets into innovation. This will be not taught at home. I don't know how many of you come from the business background. I don't. My dad worked with railways. I had to learn it difficult. And, putting myself into difficult methods. Because still at home, everyone thinks, the parents think that, for startup, you need to have a lot of money. That's not the case today. I'll tell you a story. Earlier, if you ask your parents also when you go home today, ask them whether there was a TPO cell when they completed their education. And they'll say no. Training and placement cell ecosystem got developed over the last 20 odd years. There's a faculty and there are a team of students who work diligently to bring companies on board for placement. Right? Now that ecosystem is changing and now you have incubation space where startups get incubated. So suppose you are in second year, you have an idea. Now what do you do with that idea? Do you wait for your year to complete to start? Yes or no? No. Because the time for that idea is now. You cannot experiment it 2 years later. By the time you have missed the bus. So you have a wonderful incubation center in the campus where you can go and approach the CEO of that incubation center and validate your idea. For a job, you need 2-page CV. For doing a startup, you need 10-slide deck. 10. What is the idea? What is the team? What is the business model? What is the problem you are trying to solve? How you are solving the problem? What are the competitors? Simple questions. You take that deck, approach your CEO of the incubation center. If they don't say, yahan nahi hoga, kahin aur jao. Pune has 25 incubation centers. So there is no dearth of incubation centers in Pune. So you cannot tell me that, Umesh, we did not find an incubation center. It is you are stopping yourself from not approaching them. They are waiting for your ideas. Once you pitch that deck and they say, okay, you know what, you can get incubated. Register a company. Registration of a company today takes 8,000 to 9,000. Not much. And that too, I'm saying after incubation center tells and validates, okay, we are ready to incubate you, then you take that call. Once you get incubated and that incubator is registered with Startup India, which you will find on the website, Startup India portal, you are eligible for SSIFS scheme, Startup India Seed Fund, which is starting at 20 lakh rupees. It's a grant, not a loan. You don't have to pay back to government. You don't have to pay any interest. It's a grant. You just take that money and you kickstart by getting incubated. So it's that simple. During our journey, like 2010, when I started off, there was no such kind of initiative. In fact, when I went to DST in 2012 to seek funds, they showed, on their website, they have 7,000 crore rupees. Well, I asked the, person over there in Delhi, can you give us funds, 25 lakh rupees for a startup? And he said, we have funds. I don't know how to give you. That was the story then. Now it's different. Government is ready to pay. Your idea needs to be great. Your idea needs to be perfect to get incubated. So your family does not want to have to worry about funds. Government is paying you, right? And there are 25 incubators in Pune, across Maharashtra, 60, 100 odd good incubation centers. You can also get virtually incubated in any of them, right? So there is no stopping. If you want to become an entrepreneur, you need to diligently study your idea, study your market, what solution you are going to provide, create an MVP if you can. To create an MVP, utilize the resources, the labs which you have. If you can file patent, wonderful. We have a Kapila scheme to file patent. Faculties, IIC in charge will tell you. Kapila scheme, in that we reimburse around half of the cost paid by the institution to file, the patent. Every institute has 100 patents. That's a quota, right? Kapila scheme is named after Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. And once you have patent, investor also gets an upper hand to fund you. See, there is a trust which needs to be there. So that trust is your IP, the intellectual property you create, the patent which you file. And in filing patent, there are two methods. You don't need to file the patent at one go. You can file a provisional patent and then you can go ahead with filing the complete patent by the end of the year. So it's really important to focus on how you are going to approach it. The provisional patent is that you get a patent application number. You can go and approach investors for funding also. You can go and approach incubation center to get incubated with that provisional patent number. But within 11 months, you have to file the full patent. So you have 11 months time to pivot the idea, to pivot the design, going to customers, interacting with them, interacting with end users, modifying it, right? And filing patent today takes around 10 to 15,000 only. If you want to create an empire worth multi-million dollars, multi-crores, this is peanuts. That's what the risk taking comes. And that too, through Kapila, you are getting that support. Right? Through incubation center, once you are incubated, you will get 20 lakh rupees seed funds to start off. No questions asked. No returns. Nothing you have to give back to the government. So it's really need of understanding, okay, I want to become an entrepreneur, but what's the process? But then becoming an entrepreneur is not that easy. So you need to create that mindset, a resilient mindset, that I might fail, but I cannot stop. I can rework on the idea. See, solving a problem has 100 or 1,000 methods. Yes or no? Let's take an example. How many of you are fed up with Pune traffic? So what are the solutions? Right? Work from home? Everyone would love that. But engineers cannot be developed at home. You need to do practical. What could be the other example? Yes? Metro, okay. What else?
Increase the public transport.
Increase public transport, okay.
Leave early. Leave early.
Leave early could be an option, yes. Right?
Home.
Leave early could be one way. Start early could be option.
From home.
So there are multiple ways by which we can approach a solution. Many of these are policy level. So when you approach your idea, right, you need to think 360-degree. What is the optimum solution? Be true to yourself. Don't do kaam chalao kaam. He chal jayega. Don't do jugaad. If you do jugaad, you will fail. Don't look at the cost. See, what we think when we are solving a problem, ye main kharid paunga kya? We go with that bias. Ye sasta hona chahiye. I want to. This is a big problem with engineering students these days, that they are coming up with startups and saying that this is the cheapest product. Don't make cheap products. Make the best product. Then think about the pricing. Wherever I'm going, I'm seeing that students pitch their ideas in the pitching demo session, and they are very proud to say that this is the cheapest product. We don't need cheap products. We need best product. Best. When it's the best in the market, you will find buyers. You can price it. But if it's cheap already and cost is less, obviously the product quality will be compromised. We don't want to do that. Don't go with the notion that you want to. Don't go with the pricing. Don't think what will be the price. Go for what is the optimum solution. What is the best one? You know Doctor Strange.
Yes.
Avengers. Yeah? Avengers assemble. How many of you are Avengers fan? In that he talks about killing Thanos. How many solutions does he visualize through yoga, meditation? There's only one. If you remember the movie,
Yeah.
that is the optimum solution which I'm talking about. What is the best? Go for the best. If you go for the best, you will find good buyers. Okay, pricing comes later in the whole ecosystem. First is identifying the good market, niche market, developing a good quality product. Pricing is later part. Don't think about pricing and start with the wrong foot. Don't think ki iska cost to zyada lagega, how can develop that, right? Don't think about it. That's not the kind of approach we need to have. In Indian School of Business, while I was there was a paper presented by IIM Bangalore research faculty, and it was an interesting, paper, which very much caught my eye. And I had a debate with the research, not debate, actually, kind of a discussion. And in that discussion, the paper was the moonshot. How many of us have a moonshot idea? You get the point? Moonshot, like Elon Musk is a kaun soch sakta. What does Elon Musk think? You want to colonize? Can we think of that? Do we have the capacity? Can we even dream of doing it? Sitting over here, coming from a humble background? No. Right? We cannot think that. Why? Because hum wahan tak gaye nahi. right? So these wild ideas, these out of the box ideas, these moonshot ideas don't come to us. Indians are great problem solvers. I'll give you an example. In India, we have how many unicorns? 117 around, 15, 17. How many unicorns in the US are executed by Indians? Do you know that number? Yes? Can you guess? Any guesses? Random guess, whatever comes to your mind. Yes? 10. 100. Yes, you are close. 91. 91 unicorns in US are executed, or the founders are Indians. So we are problem solvers. We are problem solvers. 91 from India, then 52 from Israel. That is the number. So that's a big gap. Right? So wherever Indians go, they identify the problem and they are part and parcel of solving it. But then how we can encash it is something which we need to think about. The example of Elon Musk which I gave was, we cannot think of creating a colony on Moon or Mars. Why? Because we are thinking very grounded. We think about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We think about the world. We think about the problems which are faced by the worldly people. We don't even think about, what is outside as of now. But the thing which is stopping us is having that perspective. Like if I ask you, what is your startup idea? It will be coming from the background, what you have seen and heard. Do you agree on this? Until and unless you have not experienced it, you will not be able to come up with an idea in that domain. For example, any founder like Ritesh Agarwal or any other person who has done a startup has gone through that, journey. If you see or hear them talking about their startup story, right? They did not find good hotel, which was affordable, clean, neat, and they started that. So you need to experience it yourself to come up with a robust idea. And that can happen when you expand your horizon, when you travel and you see things different. Academia is a good place to invent, to execute your ideas, to provide the solutions. But the problem is lying outside the campus, in the industry, in the ecology, in the environment. And for that, sometimes we need to travel. Sometimes we need to see what other people are facing problem if you need to check for the new market. The whole development of China has been through policy. There was a book published, which is now banned. It was called Bigfoot China. And 2014, when I was pursuing my master's, one of the faculties mentioned it. The interesting thing about that book was, China being a monarchy told all its MSME, you need to do a invention. You need to keep reinventing every 2 years your product. Suppose I'm an MSME, I'm making this mic. I need to file a patent with a new design of the mic. Maybe I have to reach out to a new market. Maybe I have to think of leapfrogging from this kind of a mic to completely having a collar mic or something like that. And they said, if you don't do it within 2 years, every 2 years, you don't keep reinventing yourself, we will cancel your license. And that has kept Chinese MSME on the toe. They travel, they look for new ideas, they come up with new solutions, they file for patents. 17 lakh patents have been filed by China. Last year in India, we have filed around 1 lakh. If you talk about JSPM, cumulative 10,000 patents have been filed by China. JSPM, we haven't even started to talk even now. But JSPM is not part and parcel of our discussions. So that is the scale at which they are working. The push is from that. Right? And if we do that from our government, someone will call our leadership as Hitler. So there are advantages and disadvantages of having a democratic setting, I should say. But if you are pull driven, right? You have an intrinsic thing and you want to keep inventing. For example, I'll give Kolhapuri chappal. How many people outside Kolhapur wear Kolhapuri chappal? Do you have a data? Why it has not reached other markets? What new inventions they can do in the leather market? Right? So these are some pressing issues which are part of the ecosystem. And ideas can come from anywhere. Right? So you have to hunt for those ideas. You have to read a lot. I should say, if you want to become an entrepreneur, you need to have 4 steps. You need to be a good listener first. Why? Why good listener, if you ask? Anyone?
Listen people's problems.
Yeah, but what do we call it? It's what we show towards people when we listen to them.
Attention.
Empathy. Attention. Empathy is the basic, one of the other attributes of entrepreneur. If you are not empathetical towards other person, you will not understand that person, because you'll listen only half of the story. You need to be a good listener. If you are a good listener, then you need to be a good, what could be the next thing? Reader. You need to read a lot. You need to read reports being published. There are reports being published about new industries like Niti Aayog, International Labour Organization, IBF, Invest India, OECD for European nations, if you want to understand their market. These are all not part of the curriculum. This is what extra you need to do if you want to become entrepreneur. What new case studies are published? What new reports are being published? You need to have reading skills. You need to read books. Books like Innovator's Dilemma, books like Think Fast and Slow, books like 0 to 1, Indian books by great authors, Viksit Bharat 2047, which give you a perspective. What is the new ecosystem going to be developed, which we don't know as of now. These people are seasoned, experienced people who have published some reports, and they said that in next 5 years, 10 years down the line, this new ecosystem is going to develop. And when you are inventing, you are not inventing for the startup now. Your solution is not for now. It is for 5 years down the line. Because you will start now, you will invest, you will create synergy, develop that market. It will take at least 2-3 years. So you need to have an understanding that what is lying ahead. For that, you need to read. Right? So listen more, read, then comes writing. Have a skill of scribbling things. Any idea comes to your mind, Yeah, most of the ideas, I don't know why, but it comes on the toilet. When you are on commode. Or maybe when you are bathing. I don't know. There should be a study. How many ideas which we get when we are taking, God's call or nature's call. So, writing those ideas, scribbling those ideas. Sir mentioned I published 4 books. One of the books, I never thought I'd become an author, first place. I'm an engineer at heart. But I kept on scribbling those thoughts during my first startup journey. And then those ideas became the part of the book. So scribbling your ideas, you don't know what idea might, turn out to be a unique one. And these ideas are really important. If you scribble those, then you can try out this. If you don't, then you miss out on opportunity of what thoughts you have. Right? Last thing is to speak. Speaking does not give you anything. Whatever is garbage in, garbage out. Like what I'm trying to do is just my experiences. But it's not giving me knowledge, right? It's just I'm sharing with you. But it's really important to have good speaking skills, good presentation skills. Speak less, impactful, which has value for the other person to listen. When you interact with investors, incubators, CEOs, you will have to speak well. You'll have to keep it crisp, short. Right? They call it elevator pitch. Within 3 minutes, how you explain a 5th-year-old, 5th standard kid, what is your idea? If you're not able to explain him or her, you cannot explain the leaders of the world. It should be very simple language. Right? So gaining that skill is also important, and this needs to be done while you are here. If you have an idea, go ahead, try it out, fail, gain that experience while you are in campus. By the time you are in fourth year, some of you might have responsibilities of family. Some of you might go for further studies. Some of you might take up MNC job because you have to take care of your family. Some of you might be taking up on the entrepreneurial journey. But I believe every one of you has a capacity to become entrepreneur, what Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was. He created great solutions with empathy for the nation. He did not make a lot of money maybe, but he had a problem-solving attitude. There are great entrepreneurs across in various companies, industries. So it's really important to have that skill set, right? Creating yourself and nurturing those ideas. When we talk about skills, when we talk about upgrading yourself, there are three things which you need to focus on. One, gaining the best knowledge. Gaining the best knowledge. Second, you need to have right skills. You need to have right skills. And third, you need to have right attitude. If you have knowledge and skill and not attitude, you will not execute things. You will not implement those things. If you have skill and attitude and no knowledge, your ideas will not be unique. If you have knowledge and attitude but no skills, you will not be able to, execute in the best optimum way. You will execute it, not in the optimum way. Because skills are at the thrust of entrepreneur, managing people. Outside of this campus, you will be meeting people and interacting with them day-to-day basis. You will not be thinking about triode, diode, transistor, resistor. How you are going to work with your subordinates and people under you. That's how they will define you. That's how you will make yourself. Even if you do a startup or if you work. So both the things, this skill will be required, right? So KSA, it's not going to stop. You need to upgrade these three things throughout your life. You cannot say you have attained best knowledge. You cannot say you have best of the skills. You cannot say you have best of the attitude to execute things. It needs to be upgraded time and now, right? And last and most important thing which I want you guys to take away as a lesson from this session would be believe in yourself. Don't question and doubt the God's call. If thoughts are coming to you, you are getting those ideas, pen those down. There's a great thing which is called manifestation. Right? If you really want to achieve something and you're working towards it, things will start coming to you. You need to give them the direction. Right? And if you practice early, I think it will be a game changer for you. Don't lose your belief on yourself. Trust yourself. The world will not trust you. The world will question you that you cannot do it. But you need to have complete faith in yourself that what you are, what capabilities you have, only you know that. Right? And if you don't trust yourself, you cannot trust the world. Right? So I will end this session with a poem which I published in my first book. And I want you guys to do an encore with me. Can we do that?
Yes.
You have energy?
Yes.
How's the Josh? I cannot hear you. How's the Josh? Okay. The poem goes something like this. I want you guys to repeat. Walk alone. Keep walking.
Keep walking.
You may fall.
You may fall.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
Keep walking.
Keep walking.
They will stop you.
They will stop you.
Won't they?
One day.
Just keep walking.
Just keep walking.
Did you reach your goal?
Will you reach your goal?
No.
No.
Keep walking.
Keep walking.
When people leave you,
When people leave you.
keep walking.
Keep walking.
Everything will make sense.
Everything will make sense.
Keep walking.
Walking.
If you think of this loss, remember you just created one. Thank you so much, guys. If you have any questions you would like to ask, would be happy to answer. You can raise your hand quickly. Yes, please.
should be the start researching of an idea or data, means reaching out to people, or what is the right way to reach out the mass?
Okay, that's a good question, Kevin. I have a pause for him. I think we have connected the board. Why I was here, I think it's fulfilled with this kind of a question. See, I had it from one of the IITs, currently a student, Raj. I think he's in second year. So he told me one day, and I'm on the panel of their e-summit entrepreneurship cell as a mentor for last 7 years. So he reached out and said, I have an idea. I want to make an AR/VR device for school students. And it's a big hit in US. So I asked him simple question. How many principals have you interacted with? How many teachers have you interacted with? How many parents interacted with? Because they are going to pay money. And how many that's the wrong way to do. As I go to tuitions or places, for example, there is a parent teachers meet which happen in schools. So can you interact with one of the principals, go and circle a queue, a form where they can fill it out and they can devote 5-10 minutes to do that. So you'll get 100-200 parents right away. A good survey of what they think and having some open-ended questions. Today, ChatGPT is there. It's a good friend of ours. You can always ask the ChatGPT to prepare a questionnaire for you if you cannot. And then remove the redundant ones, add the new ones which you think are relevant, and make a 10-20 question set, print it, give it to them and understand what they need. Do they really need? There is a need for that, right? Then interacting with principals, going to 10-20 schools, meeting them personally. And if you say you are from an engineering college and you are doing this project, I think they will welcome you, right? Interacting with students. So students are everywhere. Going to any one school or any coaching class also, you'll get hands on them. In fact, the same school where you have a parent teachers meeting, you can take permission from the principal and you can ask them to circulate this, form to them and they can give a feedback, right? So when the idea comes, it's really important for validation. And it's not only from the end user and the people in the ecosystem, it's a value chain, right? You have a raw material and you connect to the end user. So you need to look at all stakeholders. There will be investors also. So can you approach investors on the Startup India website? There is a list of angel investors, VCs like Mumbai Angel Network, India Angel Network, right? So they keep on coming to institutes like COAP. Some of, might be invited over here as well. You can validate from them. Then what do you think about this? And they will give us an understanding of what they have. Sometimes it can be a written note also that this is a quick feedback. It cannot be only questioning. It could be an interaction, qualitative, very qualitative in terms of recording, right? You can give calls also. You can take an interview on phone. What do you think about this ecosystem? Do you think the model will change? These were few of the thoughts which I left Rajarshi with. So he's working on that. I told him, until unless you don't do 100 of each, don't come back to me. Because that validation is important. And this is primary data. See, there are two things. One, you can do it by primary data. Second is secondary data. Suppose I was giving this example of aerospace, Belgavi ecosystem is going to change where there is an aerospace MRO business going to come. Will there be jobs for it? Yes, definitely, right? Because that ecosystem is going to establish over there, there will be jobs. Will they require new housing society ecosystem? Yes, I don't know how much Belgavi has to cater to, outsiders. So they will have to have few housing societies or, rental platforms like we have in Kota, for example, where people come and live. Will there be a food business thriving? Yes. So these answers come from the secondary perspective because that ecosystem must have been done somewhere. So it validates it. So some of the ideas don't need primary validation. Some can be done secondary. If you're building something from 1 to 10 or 10 to 100, that does not need much of a validation. That model already exists and it's a replication, copy model. But something from 0 to 1, someone says, I have a eureka idea, a unique patent, and I want to do it. That will require a lot of validation. That's the moonshot kind of a thing, which is not tried and tested. Right? That business model needs to be created from zero. Right? So for that, you'll require more insights. But they are ready to help you. It's only that we need to reach out. I think I've answered your question in bits and pieces. I don't know whether you're satisfied with it, but yeah. So that's the thing. Apart from that, you can use business model canvas. It's freely available on Strategizer website, right? Business model canvas if you type, or lean canvas model. You can have that. You can fill those blocks. See what I ask all students, if you have 10 ideas, do business lean canvas model for all the 10 ideas. In that you have to add your cost structure, revenue kahan se milega, who are your key partners, तुमचे customers कोण आहेत, तुमचे key raw material काय असेल, तुमचं USP काय आहे, त्या सगळ्या गोष्टी त्याच्यात तुम्ही टाकू शकता. आणि त्याच्याने तुम्हाला कळेल की हे अवघड आहे की करू शकतो. करू शकतो तर काय गोष्टी ध्यानात ठेवायला. आणि कॉस्ट स्ट्रक्चर म्हणजे पैसा जो जाणार आहे आणि रेव्हेन्यू जे बनवणार आहोत आपण, त्याच्यात आपलं मार्जिन किती बनू शकतो. What are the avenues to make money? And then you can also take that 10-slider deck which I mentioned for each one of those ideas and pitch to investors or incubators. They can get it. So that is one thing to approach. Any other question? Yes. So we'll take one and then we have one and two.
Sir, you just talked about survey, but all the people who fill the survey may not be genuine or may not be true by filling a form. So how much can a form be relied upon for your business ideas or strategies? One question. And second, how can you select the best method so that there would be less or next to no bias and so that you can have most accurate data possible?
So that's a very difficult question. For primary data, obviously, we Indians try to withhold a lot of data, and that's why our academic research also gets impacted, because we don't have true data. But here's the catch. Once you interact, whatever they write might be wrong. For example, the data which they feed. But when you interact with them, the kind of questionnaires or the Q&A you have with them, you will get a gist, which you can definitely point out. And say about out of 100, 40% of the data is not good, but at least 60% of data says something. So if you can apply some model on that and you can, confirm that model. Best thing is with that data, you can go to the incubators and you can pitch your idea and let them do the thing. If you want to get incubated, because finally incubators will also do their scrutiny. So the ball is in their court. Once you pitch the pitch deck and say that this is the idea I'm trying to solve, can I get incubated? And then they do the, study on their own, their end also. So it can be validated from both the sides, right? And sometimes you need to go with the gut feeling. So investors or the incubators also do that. Not all the angel investors have all the data in the world. That's why they are called the largest risk takers in the ecosystem, because they don't even know whether that money will come back to them, and that's why they are called angels. The ticket size may be small, 5 lakh, maybe 10 lakh, but it's a cost. So you can go with two methods. Right? You can be approaching incubation center, approaching investors, approaching your end users and customers, and getting a gist from it. I think from there you will get a good perspective. So you should be able to make sense out of it, right? But that's a valid, thing. That fetching good data, you need to reach out to the right audience. Not only that, the question should be unbiased. Otherwise, if you go with the confirmation bias questions, so we are just again getting into the loop. See, there are 32 cognitive biases which we have. You need to keep those biases aside and work on the idea. Because many of us are with the notion that I'm thinking this is the problem and this is the problem. Then I'll solve it. So confirmation bias में आ गया. उस process में हम fail मुंह खाते हैं literally. Yeah. Yes, there was one.
And one last. Yes.
Three, 1, 2, 3. Yes.
So, sir, you told that if we have a good idea, for the startup. So is there any need of building a team, or we can go with a single one? If yes, there is a need of team. So where can I find people who can work with me, and how can I find them?
Good question. So this is very personal actually, but it is it's suggested that you at least have one co-founder. Don't create a Warner Sena, but at least have one co-founder, because sometimes you will be down. See, entrepreneurship is a difficult process, and there are 100 things to take care of. So in the long journey, if you have a partner who is having different skills than you, suppose you are good at advertising, marketing, managing finance. The other person might be good at negotiating, HR, those skills. So don't look at mirror, but something which is opposite, right? And have those people on board. I mentioned that in my first book also, The Fun of Being in a Startup, which is basically having a person on board who can manage things like you, but have a different skills. Where you can find those people, you can find them over here in the audience. You can find them in networking sessions. Your investor can become your co-founder. Your CA can become a co-founder. Networking sessions like IIT Bombay, E-Summit, where you go and pitch your ideas. See, unless you don't pitch your ideas, people will not come to know what you're doing. Once you pitch your idea, then there will be someone, oh, I'm doing something like this. Can we collab? That's the problem in the ecosystem, right? So getting a team on board, creating that synergy, you need to first express yourself what you are trying to do. Then only you will come to know that who are the like-minded people. And when I did the startup in the engineering, so we were a couple of people and the team was quite large. So I said, Vanar Sena mat banao. With that notion, that too many people are crowd, right? At the most 3 is good. And you will see that all top startups which are thriving or are unicorn will have 2 or maximum 3 co-founders, and they will have on board a lot of investors or angels and all that. But go with 2, okay? And finding them networking events of startups, like Sign IIT organizes a lot of activities. You have pitching sessions at CUB. Sometimes you will feel that, oh, this guy is solving same problem. Can I approach and become co-founder? So you can also approach and become co-founder, right? With whatever investment stake, you can discuss how you want to take it at. But I think that's the way to look at it. It's through networking, through events related to startup, demo, and all that, where you can find these like-minded people. This cannot be done by giving advertisement in news. Yes, there was a question at the back. Yes, can we pass on the mic to him?
So first of all, I just love your enthusiasm. Second, hi sir, I'm Sanket. I'm actually a part of a startup known as BiteUp, which caters food service for the target audience of college-going students and corporate. So my question was, if you are having an idea for a problem, so how do you know that the problem is your own problem or a problem for a group of people, like the market fit? And second question, how do you know that your product is a perfect market fit before even launching the product? Thank you.
Great question. Can we have applause? Sanket, right?
Yes.
Please proceed. So I think first question I have almost answered that, understanding the validation part of it, right? Whether others also have same problem. So it's only through interaction with the ecosystem. For example, college going students. So the people who are outside of Pune, can you raise your hand? Yes. So you guys go home and cook your own food? Yes or no? Or you order it on Swiggy and Zomato? Yes? What do you guys do? Mixed answers. So, but are you getting good food? So the validation happens when you interact, the students. For example, that's your target audience. So, floating a questionnaire with them. Corporates, reaching out to the corporates, identifying with HR, which are the people who are not from the vicinity, who are not staying with family, they will require your need, right? That's where you come in. So that will help you validate. You can push your menu, right? You can put that on the Google form, ask the people to validate what kind of taste buds they have, right? And through that, it can happen. So that I already kind of answered that. Validation is sitting. See, I'll give an example. ये need वाला part क्यों important? How many of you know Tata Sumo? And you know the story how it got named Sumo? Now, faculties might know this, but I don't know how many students. Students को भी पता है क्या? पता है? क्या है story बताओ? Okay, I'll re-narrate it for those who don't. So when Tata was building trucks, there was a guy in the team who used to vanish during the lunchtime from the office. It happened for a couple of days. The team said, where is this guy going? He is not having lunch with the team. They followed this person and they landed up at a dhaba. And the dhaba, he was having food with whom? The truck driver. So entrepreneurial thought process. Intrapreneur, working in a company but thinking like an entrepreneur. So he has having this food with truck drivers and asking them question what challenges they face in the trucks, different trucks they drive. It may be Tata truck or any other. And then the team came to know that he's been doing this, coming back and giving those suggestions. Those suggestions and inputs are coming from here. So when Sumo got launched, the name Sumo, Suman Mulgaon, right? That was the name given to Tata Sumo. So he took the pain to sit with the customer, the end user, to pinpoint the problem, exact problem. The more you sit with your customer, the more you better at winning, right? Because many competitors might not be able to do it. That's why every time Uber does it, every trip you have a feedback. You give a rating. And they are managing that. They are working on that. In fact, you also get a rating. What kind of... See, Uber के लिए दोनों customer हैं. We onboard as a Uber person to drive, commute from one to other place. The driver is also a user and end user customer because he is using the Uber app. So both of us are the customers for Uber and they are taking the feedback from both of the parties. So it's really important to capture that essence. So market fit अच्छा या optimum कब होगा कैसे पता चलेगा? जब आप उन लोगों के साथ मिलोगे जो मल्टीपल प्रोडक्ट्स ट्राई कर रहे हैं. जैसे संकेत आपका कंपटीटर कौन है? Can you name at least one competitor?
Online food delivery services.
Absolutely. I'm happy that you know the clarity. What else? Any other person who is doing something like you? Have you mapped them?
Yes, sir. There are actually two startups, one in Bangalore and one in Pune. But the startup in Pune actually doesn't deliver the food service that they offer. They just collect money and tiffins are not delivered. And the one in Bangalore, they are very costly. And there are
I'm telling you, there will be many more businesses in Pune.
Yeah.
Right? And there will be home services also, which are Gargruti म्हणतो ना आपण.
Yes, sir.
ते पण असणार. So you need to map all of those and then do a competitor analysis to see what is the perfect fit. See, take it as a challenge that to portray that your product is the best. You map it. Then you will come to know what loopholes you also have, which others are providing and you are not. And that's how you will move from a product to the best product. When you encapsulate all those things which others are also trying to do.
Yes.
See, Amazon पे होता है, right? Click and then cross.
Yeah.
This product, mobile phones and all that, and it gives you that. So simple. If you do that, that's the way you can. And questioning people who have utilized that product. So the startup which you're talking about from Pune, are they your users have tried that?
Yes.
Getting a feedback from them.
Yeah, they have tried that. We actually have ourselves tried that startup. but they are not serviceable.
They are not.
They are not serviceable. They actually guarantee that they will provide the service, but after collecting the money, there's no response.
That's what I'm trying to say, that, validate it with more people. This is your personal experience. So could it be done in the same survey to reach out to the, end users and masters?
Yes.
It is just through sitting with the end user, through a story. Tell them to have those open-ended questions where they tell you the story, right? Just asking that, have you tried an online, food app? What was your experience? And they will say, okay, I've tried Zomato, I've tried Swiggy, any other startup you can ask at the end. And they will throw one or two names out of the blue, which you might also not be aware of. So that is really important, how you knit the questions for.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I think there's one question at the last, at the back. It's done. Okay. One question here. Can we go? Last question.
Sir, actually, I have an idea related to concept car. But if this idea is already existed in a real life, what should I do?
What's your name?
Suraj
Suraj.
Verma.
Suraj. Gotcha. Good question. See, there is no dearth for many solutions. There is no dearth for competitors. Many competitors are, and competitors help you drive business. When you go on highway, you go for a food plaza. Do you find McDonald's, KFC, and all those at one place, or they are differently located? They are at one place. They are competing amongst each other, but that's driving all eaters at one place. So competition is healthy. If there are already people existing, that does not stop you from doing something different. You need to offer something unique. What is that they are doing, which was missed by them, and that you are trying to provide? If you can highlight that, then you have an option. You can definitely try it out. Not best of the products are already there. Not best of the services are already there. There is always an option to create something new. There will be an option for Uber and others also, right? So there is a big scope for that. So thank you so much, guys, once again for these wonderful questions.
Thank you, sir, for that engaging session. I'm very, very sure that the perspective of our students was changed today, and maybe they'll be thinking a little bit more in the upcoming 5 or 6 days of holidays that they have. As a mark of our appreciation and gratitude for this session, I request the director, Dr. Bhosle sir, to felicitate Shri Umesh Rathod sir. I invite
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Umesh Ji Rathod, sir, Innovation Manager, Western Region, Ministry of Education, Innovation Cell. Sir, thank you very much for sparing your valuable time on such a short notice and guiding all the students over here. We are indeed having a great pleasure to welcome you on this campus and would like to have more sessions from you in near future. Dear students, I would not be taking much of your time as he has guided you a given you a very wonderful session on entrepreneurship. But he has uttered one terminology called unicorn. How many of you know unicorn?
No, sir.
कितने लोगों को यूनिकॉर्न क्या है ये पता है?
The companies which have crossed 100 million mark.
It is a privately owned startup having valuation more than $1 billion. And the term was coined in 2013 by Ellen Lee, who is founder of Cowboy Ventures. So what I want to tell you right now is whenever such guests come and tell you certain things, you have to be a very good listener. He has also told you to be a very good listener. If at all we don't understand or know certain terminology or certain things, then we should try and know those things from someone else or ask the questions. So that is what I want to tell you on this occasion. Forget about unicorn, but he has guided you to have your own startup, and all you have shown the interest to have your own startup. So starting a small is definitely needed, because all these unicorn have started somewhere in some villages or some garages. We don't know, and most of the unicorns we know that they have been started by the dropouts. Even Steve Jobs has started a company who was a dropout of Harvard. So wish you all the best for the same. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Indeed, as an endeavor of the Institutions Innovation Council, students, all of you, for this, as sir highlighted the part of awareness, this is just one event or one lecture series we are bringing to all our students so that we come to know that there are 4 unicorns right in Baner from Pune. We become a part of it, and that has been an earnest effort that we create an ecosystem. Once again, I thank all the students. Our guests for today, Shri Umesh Rathod sir, Director Bhosle sir, the team at IIC, and all the volunteers for this organizing this successful interaction. The success of this interaction depends on how many of you approach us, so that, sir, we ask that we will be contacting you, will be being in touch with you, and maybe we can come down and visit you for that. And this is just the beginning of an interaction. Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Students, thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. All students will get a feedback link. Just the QR code will be shared with all of you. Please give the feedback for the session, and then you may proceed. Wish you all a happy Diwali.
Thank you.
Wishing you all a happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali.
Yeah. We'll have a group photograph here.
Please settle down.
Please settle down. Just come forward. We'll click a group picture here. I request that.
Let them sit down. Video